Hello, everyone. This meeting is now called to order at 5:37 p.m. And Madam Secretary, can you please call roll?
Yes. Edgar Lopez, Commissioner.
Here.
Gustavo Mendez, Commissioner.
Present.
Samuel Perez, Commissioner.
Here.
Pedro Trujillo, Commissioner.
Here.
David Heredia, Chair.
Present. Okay, and Mr. Iniguez, can you please lead us in the invocation?
Yes, Mr. Chair, please bow your heads in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we are thankful for our city and for those citizens who give their time to serve on the Traffic and Safety Commission. We ask that you be with these commissioners as they consider matters which come before them, helping them to make decisions that will be beneficial to our community. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you. And let's see here. Commissioner Perez, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and Madam Secretary, was the agenda posted according to state law?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The agenda has been posted according to state law.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and this is the time given to the public to speak on agenda and non-agenda items. And were any comments received?
Yes, I believe we have one.
Okay.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Nora Saenz. I am a resident of Bell, but however, the reason why I am here is my brother's a property owner here in the city of Bell Gardens, and on Sunday, we were outside hanging out with the kids off of Ajax, and what I witnessed was where a fire truck had to go around the area because of the dividers you guys recently installed. So the fire truck had to go around the area just to get access onto Ajax and the EMT as well. So my concern is when you guys implemented the dividers, did you guys do a traffic study and how that would impact emergency personnel from accessing residential areas? I know usually when there's emergencies, time is of the essence in terms of saving lives. So if you have a fire engine truck that has to go around just to access certain residential streets, that was a major concern for me where it's like, I mean, again, time is of an essence depending on the medical emergency as well as the EMTs as well. I know a couple months back I did see on one of the neighborhood pages where one of the emergency vehicles for the police department also had a little collision with the divider. So I'm not sure what traffic study was done in order to implement the dividers or what was the reasoning behind that. So between me and my brother, we're talking maybe it was because of the speeds. However, they did share with me that that hasn't deterred people from speeding down the street, where you still have people driving erratic and sideswiping cars. So I'm not sure what kind of study went into the dividers, but it would be good. And I know it's public comment, it's not an agendized item, but just to kind of elaborate, like what was the rationale behind installing those dividers, especially on residential streets? Thank you.
Thank you for that. And if we have any answers now from either Mr. Banash or Mr. Iniguez.
Yeah, Doug, do you want to speak to that? And I'll chime in.
Yes, I can speak to that. Yes, we have been in contact with the fire department about the operational situations that they got to deal with at that intersection of Gage and Ajax prior to the final implementation of it. We did do a complete study prior to that before we went out to construction. This is part of our Complete Streets ATP Cycle 5 project, where the goal of the project is to make the streets more livable and passable for pedestrians, cyclists, and the motor vehicles. And that intersection at Gage and Ajax, there was a high pedestrian count from the high school, and therefore we put that high count, we felt it would be more prudent to have there will be a hawk signal installed there for pedestrian crossings eventually. We're working through Edison to get that thing fired up and ready to go. But that was the goal and the basis behind the study for those improvements. And we have been working with the with the fire department to make sure their operations are dealing with that.
Okay, thank you. And actually, if you can come up real quick, because sorry about that. I had a question. You mentioned just like some side swiping of cars and speeding. Was it just all through Ajax or any particular intersections?
Give me 1 second. Let me get. Just happened that I told my sister-in-law, my brother, I was here. So they are on Ajax between Gage and I want to say maybe Watcher. And that's where, again, that's where I witnessed it. We kind of figured that the reason for the dividers was for the speeding that happens along Gage. However, you have a divider. If I'm not mistaken, it might be Agra and El Celinda, and that's the direction that we've seen the fire engine truck come from, where normally the fire engine would come through Gage and turn right onto Ajax, where now they had to go around the area. The same thing with the EMT. It wasn't like a LA County EMT. It was, I think, Flock or Flack or something like that, where they had to go through the gas station and come out the alleyway. But that's the area that I seen, and I did see that there is an item on the agenda regarding a two-way stop on Lubeck and Purdy. So I just want to make sure that we're taking into consideration if there's ever a medical emergency, that the emergency personnel are able to access the homes on time. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments from commission or public?
Just to expand on what the city engineer mentioned, that there are studies done, and a lot of the things that we do for safety and traffic calming, you have competing interests. An example is speed bumps. While they do reduce first responder time, they also lead to reduced speeds, which in theory should result in less accidents. Now, we are in the process of adopting the Safe Streets and Roads for All action plan, which ties to the Complete Streets plan, and we do invite all the stakeholders, including first responders, LA County Fire, our own police department, to weigh in on these improvements. So again, we make sure that the first responders know where the safety enhancements are going to be installed so that they can plan accordingly should there be a need for first response to a particular street here in the city.
Okay, so definitely thank you for the comment. And we're gonna continue to follow up with it. And as far as speeding, maybe we could just have like I guess maybe our police department might be able to patrol that area, just see if there's any additional speeding in those cross streets. I'm very familiar with all those little streets. It's by the high school, it's between Eastern and Habona, yeah, essentially all those little streets. But yeah, I'm not aware of any other stuff that has happened on that intersection where now it's closed off to entering the Ajax Gage area. That's the first time I've heard of it. I know it looks very odd. It's very new, different, but it'll be a good idea to start kind of like, I guess, keeping a log of any comments on that new intersection.
Correct. And just to expand on these medians, they're intended to allow multimodal transportation, and by that we mean like bicycles, pedestrians. So that's why they're the shape that they are. They function as pedestrian refuge islands because again, the streets are supposed to be for everybody, not just vehicles. So that's the intent of this hawk signal and those pedestrian refuge islands.
Sorry, just to add, can you expand also a little more on like the reason for the closure on Ajax off of Gage, like that northbound?
Definitely, Doug, if you want to speak to the need for that particular safety enhancement that was placed at Ajax and Gage.
I think the study portrayed the volume of pedestrians that cross that intersection, along with bicyclists, along with the vehicle counts and the vehicle accidents that were there present at the time. directed us towards that the design where it's a right turnout for northbound gauge and northbound Ajax and a southbound right to westbound gauge from Ajax, and no other movements are allowed. Is the primary reason for it. Rather than when the hawk signal is activated, they get a full pedestrian crossing for bicyclists and pedestrians through the intersection.
Sorry, I had a question. Where did we examine, like, just thinking about, did we examine other cities that did the same thing and see if there was an issue? Like the patron said, like, hey, if we're having these issues, is it beneficial to change the format or however the layout is? Did we go? I don't know. I'm asking. Did like what other cities examined? Like, was it positive, negative? What was the overall outcome?
I don't know that other cities have examined this. I know the city of Bell along Florence has something similar. It doesn't have a hawk signal, but it's these median islands that are intended to calm traffic, and they're actually narrower than the one on Ajax. I don't know the particular streets, but it's right when you cross the bridge onto the city of Bell on the north side. I believe years ago they had the same issue with speeding vehicles. Now the grant that paid for the improvements requires us to do a post improvement study. So we did one before the improvements were installed, and we're required to do one 6 months after we're done to determine if it has led to more safety, reduced speeds, and in essence, less traffic collisions and or pedestrian collisions.
And if it comes to be that there's no big difference, is there any change in that? Like, can that be taken out? Let's say, like, hey, you know what? There is no big, very small, minimal change.
That would depend on the council, because we have to keep in mind these improvements are installed with grant funding, and it's the agencies that give us grant funding to improve our streets and roads that actually require us to have a complete streets plan. Otherwise, we might not be eligible to apply. We rely heavily on grant funds for a lot of these capital projects that we undertake. So we want to make sure that we uphold our requirements with state law to comply with complete streets plans and federal requirements for the same reason we're adopting the Safe Streets and Roads for All, so that we can keep applying for and be eligible for these grant funds.
Okay. Feel like those new improvements might come up in future meetings as well, just naturally, just because there are big changes. So we'll keep an eye on it and continue to monitor and see what else comes up from it, and continue to log every single event that comes up from all the residents, because they'll be out there, like, be able to see like what's going on every single day. It's nice to hear back. Okay, we'll go on to the next item on our agenda here. The first item, which is approval of the minutes from the last meeting on May 5th. I need a motion from a commissioner.
I'll motion.
And I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Madam Secretary, can you please take a roll call vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Edgar Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez,
I abstain.
Commissioner Samuel Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Pedro Trujillo,
Yes.
Chair David Heredia.
Yes. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a traffic safety analysis, and Mr. Negos, can you please give the report?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, item 7.1 is an administrative item. So item 7.1 is regarding a consideration to excuse Commissioner Gustavo Mendez's 3 consecutive absences from meetings held on March 3rd, April 7th, and May 5th, 2026. Pursuant to the Bell Gardens Municipal Code, If a member of the commission is absent for 3 consecutive regular meetings without cause and without being excused by the commission, the office of such member is deemed to be vacant and their term expires. An absence is excused if a majority of the members vote to excuse such absences. Therefore, it is staff's recommendation that the Traffic and Safety Commission excuse Commissioner Gustavo Mendez from the 3 consecutive absences. That concludes the staff report.
Thank you. I'd like a motion to go ahead and approve staff's recommendation to excuse the 3 absences. And I need a motion.
I can also speak on the matter if you guys permit me.
Of course.
Thank you. Commissioners and city staff, I do apologize for my lack of professionalism. I do work on doing better, and it's a simple of communicating more effectively with City Hall. I drafted the email by personal leave of absence, but I just never bothered clicking the send button. So again, I do respect our mission statement and our goal. And the most important thing is for representation of our community. So I will respectfully take into consideration whatever the commission votes in favor or disapprove of. And thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Okay, let's see, without a motion, can we still do roll call vote?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, was there a motion in a second?
There is not at the moment.
So just do that.
So you can have a motion and a second to also not, I'm sorry, this is Daisy Gomez, City Clerk. I'm participating virtually, and I just wanted to make sure that I chimed in here. So you can also motion and second to not excuse it. So that way you can vote on that. It doesn't have to be staff's recommendation. It could be also the commission's.
And I'll be more than happy to step down and step outside if necessary. I don't know if it's...
And just,
It doesn't require you to step down or recuse yourself. So you're okay to vote.
and just for clarification as well, can the chair initiate a motion or is just the rest of the
A-
committee?
Anyone can initiate the motion.
That was my next question as well. I'll go ahead and start the motion. And I need a second.
I'll second the motion.
And to clarify, this is motion to excuse the 3 absences. And Madam Secretary, can you please take roll call vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Edgar Lopez, Commissioner Gustavo Mendez,
Yes.
Commissioner Samuel Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Pedro Trujillo,
Yes.
Chair David Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, next item, I believe, is the traffic safety analysis. Mr. Iniguez, can you please give the report?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item number 7.2 is regarding a request for modification of street sweeping parking restriction hours. It is staff's recommendation that the Traffic and Safety Commission approve for the City Council's consideration the modification of street sweeping parking restriction hours, modify 148 street sweeping signs throughout the city of Bell Gardens. So with that, I'll turn it over to City Engineer Doug Benach for the full report. Doug?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We have pre-presented with some issues regarding street sweeping times and days, and we're here to present these recommendations to you for consideration. But primarily, we use street sweeping as a tool to prevent stormwater pollution. As the streets are swept, this picks up debris that would run down the storm drains and then into the LA River and down to the oceans. And they are the extra stormwater permit does require us to monitor how much tons we pick up on a monthly and annual basis for reporting purposes. So street sweeping is not a service anymore, it's a permit requirement for that. So currently the city sweeps the streets on Tuesdays through Thursdays between 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. As shown in figure 1. Basically, the east side is scheduled for Thursday between 8 and 12. The northwest side is scheduled for Tuesdays between 6 and 12. The southwest side is scheduled between Wednesdays between 6 and 12. And then the major streets are swept Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. Due to discussions with our vendor Nationwide and our street sweeping operation, parked cars and vehicles follow too closely to the sweeper, which limits the sweeper's ability to either have to redo the street or access debris along the curb. And these parking instructions are delaying the street sweeping operations based on what the residents do. And the sweeper is unable to reach some of these areas within the posted timeframes. Therefore, we're recommending some changes to those timeframes in order to allow the sweeper to get the streets completely done. And there's our recommendation that the area that's shown in figure 2 of the report, the area north of Gage is proposed new hours are from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., another 4-hour window. And while anything south of Gage, and that's a typographical error in the paragraph, it says Garfield should be Gage, will remain 8 to 12. A total of 55 signs will need to be modified for the Tuesday schedule. If you look at figure 3, the area north of Clara will have the new hours of 10 to 2, while south of Clara will remain 8 to 12. A total of 30 signs will need to be modified for the Wednesday schedule. And then on figure 4, the area north of Loveland will be 10 to 2, while the area south of Loveland will be 8 to 12, with 63 signs being modified for the Thursday schedule. A total 148 signs will be required to be modified for this action. And it's our recommendation, based on the field conditions and documentation, that our modifications be recommended for approval by the commission. And there's a fiscal impact of about $4,500 from the materials and labor to modify all the signs. And I'll entertain any questions.
Just clarify on the different images here, the time, the hours, 8 a.m. to, like, for example, noon in red, that's the old time, and then the proposed time would be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.?
Correct.
Got it.
In blue.
Just as a resident, I know some of these street sweeper hours have probably been in place for at least 20 plus years, the same hours. 8 a.m. is pretty early to, like, go and move your car sometimes, and people do get tickets when it's that early. I don't think the 2 p.m. thing would be an issue because it's before school hours, before school gets out. So overall, I think it might be okay, unless I'm just overlooking something. But any other comments?
How would the community be aware or communicated on the new hours?
What we would do is go ahead and have an educational period prior to rolling it out and implementing, so that the community has a good couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks to prepare for the changes. So that would be a heavy campaign to inform the public, while also letting them know the reason why is we want to make sure, like Doug mentioned, that the streets get swept within posted times. It has been highly difficult recently for the sweeper to meet the sweeping requirement because over the years, the community has grown. There are a lot more vehicles out there per household. Therefore, by splitting some of these quadrants, it's going to allow that sweeper to finish its initial run and then hop onto the northern parts of the quadrants to finish the second run. So we'll for sure work on that and potentially work with our partners at the police department to see if we can start with a couple of warnings for the first couple of weeks as well.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no further questions or comments, then I need a motion from a commissioner to go ahead and approve staff's recommendation of going ahead and making these changes here. Not sure how long the transition period is, but to go ahead and initiate it.
A motion.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Madam Secretary, can you please take roll call vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Edgar Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez,
Yes.
Commissioner Samuel Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Pedro Trujillo,
Yes.
Chair David Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is another traffic safety analysis. Mr. Negus, can you please give the report?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item number 7.3 is regarding a request for a four-way stop sign at Lubeck Street and Purdy Avenue. It is staff's recommendation that the Traffic and Safety Commission direct staff to request for the City Council's consideration the following improvements at the subject intersection. 1, install two 30-inch stop signs on Lubeck Street in the east and west corners of the intersection. 2, install limit lines and stop legends on Lubeck Street approaches. And 3, refresh all other intersection striping. So with that, I'll turn it over to City Engineer Doug Benash once again for the full report. Doug?
Good evening, Commissioners. We received a request to install a four-way stop at Purdy and Lubeck. Lubeck being east-west street, Purdy being the north-south east-west collector, and Purdy being the north-south residential street. This is the only intersection along the block that is not a four-way stop on Lubeck from Eastern all the way to Darwell, if I'm not mistaken. From that standpoint, all stop signs that we install in town are in compliance with the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices, the MUTCD, and they established 3 primary warrants for the installation of a stop sign. And for that, we look at collisions. We need 5 or more collisions reported in a 12-month period. That can be corrected by an all-way stop. Traffic volumes are not analyzed, where you got to have a number of units in both directions approaching, in all directions approaching the area for an 8-hour period. Sight distance, where the road users cannot see conflicting traffic and not be able to negotiate the intersection safely. We also look at, before I get there, when we looked at the collision warrants, the review reported accident history for 3 years. Only one accident was at the intersection, and the collision was not due to improper turning. Therefore, it's not considered correctable by a stop sign. So the collision warrant is not satisfied. The traffic volumes we collected. Then again, those volumes on the minor streets did not meet the volumes for that. Therefore, it does not meet the warranted criteria. Then we looked at sight distance. In looking at the intersection with the prima facie speed limits and the driver's eye height locations, being back 15 feet from it, the sight distance and the triangle that was plotted that is used by Caltrans in the Highway Design Manual for stop intersections shows that there are clear obstructions of parked vehicles that do allow motorists not to have a complete safe stop at the intersection. Therefore, this warrant is satisfied for sight distance. Now, the California MUTCD has initial criteria for all-way stops, notably noted as section 2B.17, where we need to control left turn conflicts. The accident history shows there is none. The intersection is 2 residential neighborhood collectors, streets of similar design and operating characteristics. Lubeck Street is classified as a collector and Purdy is a local resident street, therefore it's not met. And where pedestrian and bicycle movements support installation of all-way stop, there were no pedestrian or bicycle movements were observed during the investigation period. But we found from the standpoint of that we met the sight distance warrant for the intersection. and therefore recommending the installation of the stop or the four-way stop at this intersection, which it will be the installation of 2 stops on the north and south side of Purdy for the intersection. And I'll entertain any questions.
I have a question. I see that it says based on the residents' concerns. Do we know the amount of people that brought this up to question?
No, we don't. But if someone comes to the office and says, hey, we need to look at an intersection from a standpoint, my professional opinion, and we'll get a set of traffic counts and do a quick accident study at nominal costs to the city. They either give us a bookend notice of if it's warranted or not. And in this case, when we did once we got the traffic data, we found that it could be warranted.
I just feel like there's so much going on now. Like there's so many stop signs, and I think adding another is just gonna bring more like questions to why is there so many stop signs out of nowhere. So I guess my follow-up question would be, why now? How come this wasn't advised a year ago or 2?
Well, it's interesting that this one came up just recently, and sometimes it's happened. A couple of years back, we did another intersection. I think it was off of Gephardt. I think it was Gephardt and Ira. The same situation, same set of traffic conditions. And most likely it wasn't warranted, but when we ran the traffic counts and we actually looked at the sight distance analysis, there were issues at the intersection, so we just added the extra 2 stop signs for that.
If I can speak to that, yeah, it's really tough to tell because we have to respond to the citizens' concerns. And in this particular case, even though we have installed the small median islands at the stop signs, so those were pre-existing stop signs. We're just making them more prevalent so that it can enhance safety in the area. So that's not to say that a resident or a citizen is not going to approach us on a different intersection that may not have already have a stop sign. And that was the case for this particular intersection, which right now is only a 2-way stop.
Yeah.
And Doug, did you mention that on Lubeck there, that's the only intersection that doesn't have stop signs on that stretch of road?
Ajax, El Celinda, Habanera. I might be missing a street there from memory. I don't have the map in front of me. All the other intersections are controlled by 4-way stop signs.
Okay, so it looks like the neighboring streets running parallel to Purdy would be El Celinda and Ajax, and both of those have stop signs. Is that right?
Oh, you had in all 4 directions, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this was discussed as well, Doug. Did the resident have like a particular concern, or did they provide a reason for this request? Did they notice something out there that might have concerned them?
I think it was just a combination of she was concerned about safety in the area and having it hard to get out of the intersection. It wasn't anything. Most of the people that complain are usually because of safety, or they may have had a near miss or something of that nature. And as a courtesy, we take a quick look at it. In some intersections, I could, based on doing this for 30 years or so, you can tell which intersections could be warranted or not warranted. And the accident history sort of bears that out.
Sorry, what was the last part? The accident history?
And then the traffic study, when we do the accident history and get the traffic counts, and then knowing the intersections, do it with a quick drive-by for sight distance, we can tell if the intersection could be warranted or not. Then we do the write-up.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, based on your analysis, it said that the collision that happened there, it can't be correctable with the stop sign. So
Correct.
I'm not sure.
But the sight distance, but there's 3 primary ones that are governed to warrants. collisions, traffic counts, and sight distance. And the sight distance is the one that got it covered.
Got it.
Okay, so if it's kind of like we're going towards the site distance, trying to clear that up, then we're just assuming that there's cross traffic going past and you're just having a hard time maybe turning off of Purdy onto Lubeck. And I don't know if that's just there's a lot of traffic at certain times of the day. I don't know if it is a speed thing that makes it hard for someone to turn onto Lubeck in that intersection, just because El Celinda and Ajax are so close to it, and they both have stops. And it has dips. It's like it's really hard for someone to like just speed right across Purdy. So I don't know if it's just you said that there just wasn't that many like vehicles, right? I think I saw like 4,000 on Lubeck, and that's the street that we're worried about. So many cars just going through Lubeck. I mean, compared to Purdy, it's 700 cars.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like 4,000, if it's like certain hour of the day, is it like an after school thing? Is it morning traffic? That's making it difficult for people to turn. But I don't know, I'm kind of 50-50 on the stop sign right now. Doesn't seem like it would cause any harm though. I think that's why we do the studies as well, to see if it's warranted or not.
And with it being warranted, we do the studies primarily to make sure that it's warranted. If it's warranted, that gives us liability protection for accidents, third-party suits against the city. If it wasn't warranted, you would be given a recommendation not to install it.
Got it. Okay, so right now we're looking at it being warranted due to improving sight.
Due to the sight distance issues.
Got it. Okay. In that case, I need a motion from a commissioner to go with staff's recommendation to put in the 2 stop signs on Purdy North and South, and go ahead and just restripe the whole area for any limit lines.
A motion to approve staff's recommendation.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, and Madam Secretary, can you please take roll call vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Edgar Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez,
Yes.
Commissioner Samuel Perez,
No.
Commissioner Pedro Trujillo,
Yes.
Chair David Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe that was the last item on the agenda here. It's time for any commissioner comments.
Hi there, Commissioner Menders here. Again, I just want to say thank you very much for allowing me to continue being part of the commission. As I reflect on these commission items, it's very tough in the sense that on one side it affects a few versus the bigger goal of trying to provide safety to our community members when it comes to traffic, right? For example, Ajax and those recent, what I feel like, and going off with what Mr. Commissioner Perez was mentioning earlier, that there's been like a huge increase in stop signs and trying to make traffic better. But I think we should also take into consideration how it if there's any adverse effects, right? For example, emergency response, if they're able to, save a life, I think we also have to take that into consideration. So it's good that we get these studies, but also hoping that we could also get our emergency response team to come and provide feedback and other future meetings, just to get knowledge from their point of view when it comes to responding to emergencies, right? And thank you so much. That's all.
Okay, sounds good. The only thing I think I've noticed in the past few meetings, but I forgot to mention it. I figured I'd mention it now. I think Commissioner Perez is technically vice chair. I think we did some vote on it some months back. I just had forgotten to mention it. Right. Any other comments from commissioners?
Just one citizen came up, talked about the fire truck not be able to get in, but what I've seen in the community is police is spread thin, positive, patrolling the community, but a lot of people in the community park in the red. It's insane, like it's ridiculous. I invite you to go on the weekend down Jaboneria and watch her. I'm all for sports and the high school running their fields, but it's insane. On the weekends, they will block your driveway or barely let you out. All of the red is parked on. It's by the fire hydrant. Forget if we ever need a fire hydrant because there's a car parked right there. So it makes the situation difficult because I've been coming down the street where the new posts are at, and it's a tight turn because people are parked in the red, and I know they painted it off, and it's hard to even make that turn. It's ridiculous. And I mean, I don't fault the police officers because they're dealing with other stuff. So I don't know what else can be done because it's difficult. And I know parking's tight, but as a citizen, it's frustrating, when you're trying to, get somewhere and it's like people are blocking the curb or you can barely make a turn. So I don't know if something we can look into or what can be done as a Traffic and Safety Commission, but it is an issue. I don't know if anybody else sees it, but I know I see it.
Yeah, I think definitely it's tough because it's like if it's like your driveway, I know that like if it's crossing a certain path, then I think in the past we've said to just go ahead and call it in and someone might get towed. That might be the end result of it. And that would be unfortunate, but it's definitely like they're blocking your driveway and you need to be able to get in and out of it. Then I think that needs to be done. That's the recommendation we've done in the past. And anything else like that technically could be called in as well. If cars are blocking fire hydrants, that would definitely need to be done also. So I guess it's one of those things where like if it's blocking a fire hydrant, you can't get in and out of somewhere, you need to get in and out, then it would be recommended that it be called in to the police department and they'd be able to handle that. Okay, and any
Yeah, I also just wanted to comment. The complete street plan was also mentioned and brought up, and I kind of just wanted to ask to see if maybe Mr. Benash or Mr. Iniguez can explain how the community can get involved in providing feedback. I know most of these grants usually have like a community outreach portion to them, so I just want to see kind of how that's done and kind of how they can get involved with that.
If I can speak to that, actually, the efforts do elicit community support. There were some pop-ups that our consultant team from KOA and Lochner held for the last few months, including the survey that was actually on our social media. So anybody could have logged on and weighed in on recommended improvements on major intersections. So definitely with these grants, as the commissioner stated, that it does have a public input and stakeholder component. And those will all be addressed in the report as to what the participation was from the community. But from special events to bus stops at the bus shelters, the consultant actually had a QR code decal on the actual sidewalk, where if you're a patron, a rider of transit, you could snap it with your cell phone and it would take you to the portal where you can chime in and basically respond to the survey. So that will be included in the plan, the public participation that we were able to gather.
Thank you. And just to confirm as well, these community outreach events are also done for specific projects, right? So for like those median islands, was that done as well? And how was that kind of advertised? And kind of learning from this, are you guys gonna approach it differently, try to, reach out to more people and see what the feedback they provide on these improvements?
Definitely, the Complete Streets Plan is a little older than this Safe Streets for All action plan. That one was done about 5 or 6 years ago, but it did carry the same public input and participation. Through the same consultant team, KOA also worked on the city's complete streets plan, which was adopted, I believe, in 2021 or so. But definitely, as we get more of these types of projects, we'll continue doing that public participation component because that's a requirement of a lot of our state and federal grants. The Safe Streets and Roads for All action plan it's a guidance document. It's a plan. It says these are the improvements that should be considered at these certain locations. But when we go after the grant funding to undertake such improvements, I'm pretty sure the state or federal grants will carry the same requirements that as our design team works on the actual plans and specifications, that again, we have that public participation component on the actual construction drawings.
Thank you. Yeah, and I know we're limited on time on these commission meetings, but I don't know if maybe it'd be helpful to kind of bring up the projects you guys are working on at these meetings or these department updates sections, and maybe we can help spread the word to the residents, and so they could kind of chime in on these improvements.
Okay, thank you. And any other department updates or comments?
No further comments from staff. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I believe this will be, we're gonna adjourn this meeting now. And the next scheduled meeting will be, I'm not sure if we're gonna have, do we have the first Tuesday of that July or does it land on the 7th? Okay, seems like that would work then, July 7th. Gotcha. Okay, so this meeting is now closed at 6:24 p.m. Thank you, everyone.